Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am going away for the weekend, so I figured I would pump out a quick video, and because I was feeling lazy, I didn't particularly want to make one about systems design. So as with many other elements of my life, whenever I'm feeling particularly lazy, I'll do my best for about 2 minutes and then probably call it a day. So that's what we're going to be doing here. Anyway, today's concept that I want to talk about is Leetcode. Now, I have really not spent a lot of time devoted to talking about Leetcode on this channel because mainly I focus on systems design. I think there are probably hundreds of channels much better qualified than me to talk about that subject, and as a result, I have tried to steer clear of it. However, the one thing I do want to talk about today is people doing too much of it. One thing that I constantly see when I scroll through my TikTok feed when I'm bored is all of these college-age kids live streaming Leetcode, talking about how many they've done, and it's often in like the multiple hundreds, maybe even low thousands, which in my opinion is just way too much. I think there are a couple things to be said here. One of them is that if you're doing in like the low hundreds of Leetcode problems, I'd say probably beyond like 150, you're probably doing too much. It's probably overkill. I think like the right optimal like effort to solution ratio that you want to be going for is being able to do like 80% of medium problems, and that doesn't mean that you have to see all of them in advance. If you have to go into an interview and the only way that you're going to pass it is by having seen the problem in advance, that kind of bodes poorly for how effectively your studying methods are. The same thing goes for if you've just done like 500 problems and you can't pick an arbitrary median and complete it. Because if a Leetcode problem comes up that's similar to one that you've seen in the past but you just can't figure it out on the spot, to me it would indicate that you're doing all of these problems and really not learning from them, but just practicing and saying, oh, I put the right solution in the box, so this is complete. So please do keep that in mind that, in order to really be effective with these problems, that you want to genuinely come out of every single one having understood what you did there, and then make sure that when you apply it to similar problems, you can use that similar pattern and then go ahead and complete it. The same thing would apply for any type of like graph traversal, sorting, topographical sorting, anything like that. You just want to be able to recognize patterns and solve them. But again, Leetcode is not my strong suit personally. I don't really feel like talking about it too much on the channel. What I would rather talk about are the trade-offs of doing too much of it, because in the time that you could be spending doing other things, but you spent Leetcoding, you could either study some more systems design or other soft skills that would actually help you perform better on your job, or more importantly, you could just go out and socialize more. And frankly, at least in my young experience of a career so far, I found that just literally being more social is going to probably get you more ahead in your job than having done any amount of Leetcoding will. Now, of course, it is true that if you Leetcode a ton, you're probably more likely to pass an interview. But beyond that, your actual success within your job is gauged more in terms of how social you are, how good you are at communicating, how likable you are. Obviously, you have to be a good software engineer as well, but genuinely, when it comes down to it, nothing out of any of that really has to do with Leetcode. If you just went and did 1,000 Leetcode problems and never made a personal project in your life, I just can't see you exceeding as much as someone who's kind of been coding in their spare time and actually uses their spare time to do that instead of solving Leetcodes. Now, this isn't to detract from anyone who just likes solving Leetcodes in their spare time. If you're actually passionate about this stuff, then by all means, go kill it. But at the same time, I do feel that there is such thing as doing too much Leetcode, and every time I see one of those I'm him, here are my 300 solved problems videos on TikTok, I just think to myself that you will probably get a really nice job, but then you'll actually get there and be a little bit underprepared. So anyways, guys, I hope you take that lesson with you. In the same vein, I'm actually going to go and attempt to do some socializing, or at least unwinding myself, and I will see you guys next Wednesday for the next systems design video.